Daf Kuf a bracha of Hatzlocha for Yochanan ben Avram. The Mishnah. Purchasing items from a shepherd or a watchman, can you buy their caretaker products? Number one, the Mishnah prohibits buying milk products or wool from a shepherd, or fruits or wood from the watchman. Rabbah holds this does not apply to a sharecropper. The Brisa adds that one may purchase milk products from a shepherd in the desert or wool garments. Number two, one can purchase an amount of animals or shearing that would be noticed by the owner, 4 of a flock of 5, or some say 4 from a small flock, 5 from a large flock. If they are healthy animals, even 3, since the owner notices them more. Number 3, Rabbi Yehuda includes purchasing any amount of domestic sheep as opposed to those raised in the desert. The general rule is, if it is something the owner would notice, one can buy, otherwise not. Other permitted forms of purchases from these caretakers. Number 1, orchard watchmen that sell publicly at the entrance of the garden from baskets and weigh them on scales. One is permitted to buy from them unless they said, hide your purchase. Buying from a robber. Rav holds one is permitted only to purchase something from a robber if most of his possessions are not stolen. Shmuel holds one is permitted as long as he does not know what he purchases is stolen. The law regarding destroying the property of a moser, who was a moser at least 3 times, according to some opinion in the Rishonim. One opinion holds even through direct damage is permissible. We are not concerned about his property more than the person himself, since we are permitted to lower him into a pit, if possible to do so, all the more so we can destroy even directly his property. The other opinion holds only through a grama. Perhaps his descendants may be righteous and need their inheritance. The next inyan that the Gemara discusses is punishment for stealing. The Gemara says if one steals even a pruta from a person, it is like taking his life. He is responsible not only for the victim, but even his children. This applies even if he took it forcefully and paid, or only caused one to lose his job. What about the things a person can purchase from a woman? The Mishnah says wool garments in Yehuda are permissible, linen in the Galil, calves in the Sharon, eggs, chickens, anywhere, unless they say to the buyer, hide your purchase. The Tana Kama holds she may not sell flour, wine, or oil. Abba Shaul holds she can sell enough to purchase a head covering. Women may contribute small amounts of money to tzedakah unless they come from wealthy homes, where a large amount is still considered relatively a little. They may sell large amounts of olives, not small amounts, unless it is where they are expensive, because husbands may be embarrassed under the circumstances to sell small amounts. The last Mishnah deals with purchasing scraps of craftsmen. For example, shreds of wool that the launderer removes when soaking the garment. One cannot purchase shreds from him unless the custom is to allow him to keep them. However, pillows and mattresses are permissible to buy. The reason is the launderer was kona with a shinui. One is not permitted to purchase from a weaver a wad of wool, heddles, bobbins, leftover spools. However, a different colored garment consisting of different colors of thread, even though it appears to be stolen, thread is permitted because he was kind of with a shinui. Woven cloth is also permitted for the same reason. One is not permitted to purchase from a dyer testing wool, samples the owner brings to show the color he wants, not torn off shreds, but a felt garment or threads made from samples is permissible. One can purchase from a tanner the wool that came off from rinsing the hide. Leftovers craftsmen can keep. A launderer can keep 3 threads at the edge of a garment because he removes them to straighten the garment. Unless they are a different color than the garment, he can take even more. If they are tcheles and were not removed, they count for the shear of tcheles. A tailor can keep less than 3 by 3 of a woven cloth, also thread less than the length of 2 needles, if the balabayas is not makbid. Sawdust from whatever a carpenter uses belongs to him, any kind of utensil. Concerning an adzi, it is the shavings of a small one, not a large one. Last, one who chisels stone can keep whatever chisels off. Those who prune trees, grapevines, thorn bushes, and weeds depend on the hakpad of the balabayas. Hops and grain depend on the area where they are grown, if growers are particular or not.